Welcome everyone for this next installment of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Today DJ B joins me. We've got two main missions to go through. One of them is DLC there, that's only available if you've got the Director's Cut or the Explosive Mission Pack.
But that said, if it's a main mission, does that mean that the DLC is actually mandatory?
This part of the DLC is, yes, it's in the main campaign, so in we go right in. Diving down, whoosh. So, of course, we have to track down Sandoval's GPL. Sandoval is one of the lost scientists. We saw him in the opening, he's the augmented one. And we're tracking the implant located in his arm. And it appears that Harvisters have him. So we're going to go across the rooftops. We're going to need the Icarus landing system here. It's the easiest way in, essentially. I don't know how anyone's going to get in here without any kind of augmentations. Because there's guards.
I'm sure
right by
someone
the door.
out there could do it, all the challenge run people who do this.
Yeah, it will be difficult to be completely ghost stealth without knocking anyone out, but hey, maybe it's doable. I just prefer to go in from the rooftop.
Okay, I have a glancing memory of this particular area because of how awkward it was to get through here for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of Harvesters about, but that said, I do like the Harvesters in concept. It reminds me of a book I once read many years ago. I can't remember what the title of the book was, but it sort of delved into how technology has got to the point of transhumanation, and humans have split off into different factions to live on themselves. And there are ones like the Harvesters who believe they are immortalized through the combination of man and machine, essentially. There are ones that are just essentially injecting themselves and improving themselves biologically. There are ones that have uploaded their consciousness to computers. There are ones that are just essentially clouds of silicon floating around, like conscious clouds, and everyone's sort of immortalized through technology, and it sort of deals with a certain aspect. And the Harvesters kind of remind me of the cyborgs in that story.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, it's a really interesting book. I can't remember what it's called. But it's all about transhumanation. It's a fiction, obviously, science fiction, but still interesting nonetheless.
I'm sure someone in the thread can help us figure that book out.
Maybe, yeah. But hey, we picked up a new item. We've picked up the ammunition for a laser gun, which means a new weapon. Ooh.
Access granted.
Ammunition for anything non-lethal is always scarce, though, isn't it?
Not entirely, because things like the stun gun you use up when you get close, and well, if you're up close, then you might as well knock someone out, I found. So you end up saving a lot of ammunition.
But that said, you said a laser, didn't you? That's not non-lethal, is it?
No, laser's lethal, but we're going to take a look at that weapon later when we do find it. But
okay.
What can you tell me about lasers, David?
They were invented by a woman, and laser actually stands for something, which I'm going to say now in post.
Light amplified by stimulated emission of radiation.
Wow, David, how did you know that?
Well, I'm just, the power of Google.
I mean, all the way in the future, when you looked it up and sent me the set audio file. But no, that's incorrect, actually. I was going to mention that lasers are, of course, made up of photons, like all light, and photons can go through transparent objects, so that may be useful to us later when we do pick up the gun later in the game. But in the meantime, we're just going to have to sneak past all the Harvesters, because we've got to get to Sandoval, of course. Now, there's actually a glitch here with this guy. I knock him out here, but in a separate take, where I had to reload a save, if we cut to now, if you shoot him with the stun gun, he falls through the floor, and, well, we kind of don't want that.
He's teleported away, back to his own universe.
Now who's the real ghost?
Aha! This is the spookiest game I've ever seen.
Do you know what the spookiest thing about any game is?
Go on.
There's a skeleton inside all of us.
Ah, Jesus!
Yeah. Whoa. But hey, another thing I like about the Harvesters that I didn't mention yet is how they use scavenge tech. It kind of like that gives it that post-apocalyptic cyberpunk feel where, well, this is obviously cyberpunk, but it's kind of that feeling that it's scavenged tape. They've just picked it and it's all strapped together. None of it matches, but it's all practical for the person who's strapped it onto them, which I like.
It shows that they have more of a working knowledge of it, so they can better utilise it.
Yeah, it's sort of Durareg tech, and there's actually another fucking crappy toilet back there, but that's actually a thing in games where, to make the worlds feel more lived in, the artists, like the environment artists, give little details that make it look like something's been used, or like the world's lived. And I think it was in one of the Hitman games where if you looked up into a ventilation shaft, then you could see like cigarette butts where people have obviously been smoking in the bathrooms and then just shoving their butts through the walls. Which happens a lot, especially in student accommodation.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah. Did you get them in the shower where they just put them through the shower drain?
Oh, it was disgusting. It was the worst.
Yeah. Especially when you didn't realise it was there. But we also took a look there at the, back to gameplay, we took a look at the tagging system, which is useful. As in, you can use it to track where you left bodies.
I was wondering if you've ever used that before, because that is something, especially for a ghost run, that you should probably be using more often.
It's not necessary, but you can use it to track down guard paths, or even know where you left a pile of bodies at, in case you're stockpiling them and trying to create a biomass. But hey, there's this guy. In here, I didn't capture the take, but in this room, if you remember, if you let free to die, then her body's in here, and she's lying on that operation table.
Yep, I saw her there, and I felt pretty goddamn bad.
I don't know, I can't remember if you find anything on her body. I think it might be a practice kit, I don't know. But obviously the merits of saving a friend is better than one to upgrade your cerebrum or whatever.
I know some gamers who would debate that, but okay then.
Wasn't there a whole game that did that?
What, it's about betraying teammates in order to get stronger?
No, a game about like how you weigh ethical decisions up against the merits on yourself in video games.
Spec Ops? The Line? I don't know.
There was some of it in that game, but yeah. So hey, still no sign of Sandoval so far. He's just behind us, but I like to take these guys out here in the beds just so we can scavenge everything around. And
I do like that they're just chilling, like just
it is
completely minding their own business.
Really. But hey, something interesting here. I'll slow it down in a minute, but on Bullshit Talk Radio, Shit Free Dog from Fallout, if Free Dog was a fat Reddit user or something, he's talking about basically viruses like the AIDS and HIV haven't been fixed yet. There's still a problem in society and they're seeing a return.
Access granted.
And that's not entirely so, but it's kind of a reference to, do you remember I think it was the MRA jabs? It was like particularly big in England during the 2000s when a bunch of celebrities who were non-scientists came out with all this nonsense from rejected science papers that the whole scientific community agreed was completely bollocks. But because these celebrities were like, no, MRA causes autism, people weren't getting the MRA jabs, which means there's been a return to things like polio and tuberculosis in modern society now. And it's kind of like in the Deus Ex, as mentioned just now, that it's not exactly the same, but because society's been through a renaissance and seen an interest in technology, they've kind of forgotten about these old world diseases that could easily be fixed by this point in time, probably.
But they haven't actually been paying enough attention to realise that it's an issue.
Yeah, because they've been more focused on basically a renaissance of technology.
All in all, people are stupid.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Not all the time, but sometimes.
Enough of the time.
Hey, after we've cleared out all of that, we've got to meet Sandoval.
That's far enough, Gwylo.
Tong.
You disappoint me, Jensen. I thought we were friends. Then my hacker goes missing. You break into my place of business, and you don't even have the manners to knock when you enter a room. A lot of bell tower heavies looking for you. Any reason I don't just turn you over?
Yeah. Vasily Sevchenko.
Never touch the stuff.
You're wearing his arm. GPL device inside it. Let me straight to you.
Scavenged tech. Get you every time. Wrong woman, don't do that here. Sorry to say, the man I got this from wasn't in a position to complain. Bell Tower gave us his corpse a few weeks ago.
Bell Tower? Not Tai Young?
Tai Young's not the one grabbing people off my streets and giving me choice args, so I close my eyes.
Sevchenko had 4 other scientists with him.
I'm not wearing any of them. So maybe they're still alive, and maybe I help you out with this.
Go on.
I've got a pretty good idea where Bell Tower's been dragging people. Problem is, bastard's got my son. And he gets a bullet if I step out of line. See where I'm going with this?
Where's he being held?
One of my Harvister boys will tell you all about it. Meet him in the sewers near the Alice Garden pods. Then, when you free my boy, come back and we talk some more.
I can hardly wait.
So yeah, we've got to go to the same sewers again, and here's the laser rifle, just at the side there. But before we take a look at how it plays out with that, you may have seen a load of jump cuts in the video, and that's actually a result of the conversation changing depending on your playstyle. So he's meant to say things like, you come in here, kill all my guards, but because I didn't kill anyone, the game removed that, so it just ended up as a jump cut. But hey, laser rifle. It has a scope on it. Fires a beam.
Oh.
Sounds kind of cool, but of course, like I said, photons go through glass. That may prove useful in a boss fight if there's glass involved.
That is really cool. I would never have figured that out on my own.
Yeah, photons, it's simple science, man, simple science. But what I like about this laser rifle, it's kind of a different art style to normal laser rifles. Like, normally they'd be all sleek, or if you're playing Fallout, then it would be a big, bulky thing. But this is like a shoulder-mounted beam weapon, which has a nice feel to it. But hey, off we go. This is the DLC mission.
A mission that I just would literally have had no access to. I guess in my playthrough, from what I remember, he just goes straight to the next part. He doesn't have a son, or doesn't bring the son up.
No, the bit about his son being kidnapped is negated, and you move on to the next part.
You one of Tong's boys?
No. I just like hanging out in the sewers because they smell better than what I eat for breakfast. Any other stupid questions?
Not yet. But if I come up with one, I'll be sure to ask. Where's the kid?
We thought he was in the upper city, holed up nice and tight inside the bell tower compound. But, as it turned out, the fox got nervous. Didn't like the look of Tong's flex stick, so they moved his son someplace safer.
What could be safer than inside bell tower headquarters?
You're about to find out, migrant. They're holding him just around that corner in the basement of an old noodle factory. Won't be easy getting him out either, because the men guarding him aren't your typical bell tower police. These are warriors, specially trained, heavily augmented.
I have a feeling I may have met them before. If that's the case, you got an escape plan?
You are the escape plan, my friend. Didn't Tong tell you? If Bell Tower finds out anyone else is involved, things are going to get very ugly in Lower Hengsha.
So Tong's willing to risk his kid's life on one man's abilities?
Not necessarily. When you get to Tongs Son, give him this. He'll know what to do with it. Now get going. Wouldn't want you to miss your next ride.
There's a ledge there, dude. Oh, he's gone. But hey, this is the DLC mission. Sadly, it does not take place in Upper Hengsha. I'd have loved to go there. It was planned in the original game. But it never was, sadly. They had to cut it because of time constraints, I think. That or financial constraints. But hey, it's saving Tongs Son. I really like this mission. It's short and sweet. Nice DLC. It's in the Explosive Mission Pack, which is includes all the unlocked devices and that. But hey,
Oh, is that where you get those little devices that basically help you to auto-hack?
yeah, the auto hack devices come with the DLC as well as an extra 1,000 or 5,000 credits.
Oh wow, so they flat out pay you for it as well.
You have to pay for the DLC. If you've got the director's cut, then all DLC comes with it. But we've also found a new ammunition, grenade launcher shells. So, new weapon, the grenade launcher.
I like how haphazardly and almost grumpily that Adam just grabbed that guard and just kind of flung him out of the way. It's like, fuck this guy, I can't be bothered.
I've got to save a child.
Ugh.
Yep. So what I'm doing on this mission is I decided to knock out all the guards, just in case Tongs Son is completely incompetent. And
Oh, are we looking at an escort mission right now?
no, luckily.
Okay.
Because if you knock them all out, then there's no one to stop us. So hey, this recording was actually the first time I played the bonus mission on console. I played it on PC in the director's cut, and in the director's cut you get an extra battery life, so you have 2 automatically recharging. And I was seeing if I could replicate that to see if it was in the original game. It is not. But like I said, first time playing this mission on console. Feels very much the same. Actually, it feels rather improved for the most part on the console because it runs a bit smoother. I think maybe they had more time to fix it.
Wait, was the console version out afterwards, or wait?
Of the DLC? No, I just didn't download the DLC because
I see.
I didn't have a
Okay.
wireless Xbox when I got Deus Ex. I was living in a little student flat. But hey,
Same here.
yep. But hey, you can tag all these guys. It's nice to just see them and look around. But like I said, I'm taking all these guys out one by one. And it's nice to do little sneaky stuff in missions like this where you can just drop down. Kind of like
Like, for me, that would have been the prime opportunity to just casually put a grenade down and walk away and enjoy the explosion.
Enjoy the ragdoll coming through the ceiling, yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
This game does have very exaggerated ragdoll. When you hit a person with a grenade, they do go flying. Satisfying to see, but ethically it's not sound.
It does not tie in too well with Adam's very stoic persona
Not in this playthrough.
and his apparent aversion to killing.
But he is very energetic, as you'll see in this next clip. Clearly he's had 3 Weetabix for breakfast. I mean, shit, son, that's a lot of Weetabix.
I haven't got the energy to knock you out. Give me a second. Alright, now we can do
You
it.
should have had a bit of sugar with those 3 Weetabix.
Maybe sprinkle some jam into it, you know.
No, that's mental. You've gone too far, David. I'm calling the police.
No, Adam, he's a killing machine.
I'm calling the police.
He's had all 5 portions of fruit before he even started.
Ah, no, it's 7 now. It's completely arbitrary. Who cares? But anyway,
What is a portion?
a handful. But hey, we're not in a food podcast. We're in a Deus Ex Let's Play. Again, with the tagging, I wanted to mention just there is that it's kind of awkward to untag people. You have to get to a distance and aim your reticle right at the little triangle to deactivate it.
Oh, so there is a downside to it, I guess, if you overuse it.
That it's fiddly to use, yeah. That's the only problem.
Going to take to break me out of here. I'm bored almost to tears.
Typical teenager being more bored than panicking that he's been kidnapped. It's like a trope in movies as well, where the teenager's like, oh, I don't have any Facebook signal. And it's like, no.
You're being kidnapped. Like,
Yeah.
worry about that before you concern yourself with your current boredom, perhaps.
Yeah. But hey, saving Tongs Son. That's all the guys taken care of. We're just going to secure our clear exit. And we have to open the door up. I can't be bothered to hack anymore in this game, so I'm using all of those auto hacks now. Like, I've leveled myself up enough. I might as well just use the many auto hacks and clear up my inventory.
You Tongs kid.
So my mother keeps telling me. But you are neither bell tower nor Chinese. Am I to assume my honored father is covering his back by sending you in to spring me instead of his harvesters?
Wise assumption. Let's get out of here.
I don't think so. Last time I checked, Bell Tower had a lot of firepower out there. I'm not willing to risk my neck on the unlikely possibility that you neutralized all of it. No offense, American.
None taken. I wasn't crazy about the odds myself, but when I questioned it, I was told to give you this.
Well, well. Way to go, Father. This changes everything. Assuming they reassembled it correctly. You ready to go?
Tell me something first. How the hell was Bell Tower able to nab you?
Whatever do you mean?
Come on, kid. I may not be 100% up on the triads, but I'm betting your dad's not far from becoming a dragon head. I find it highly unlikely that the local authorities could just waltz in and take off with his son.
Under normal circumstances, you would be right. But in this case, I'm the one who waltzed over to them.
You volunteered to be kidnapped? Why?
Let's just say, my father and I do not share the same love of augmentations. I find them dangerous and not something our family should be putting so much trust in. But father expects me to... how do you say it? Follow in his footprints? So a change of scenery is required.
I'm not following you.
Tong Son would never willingly allow his only son to leave his side. I needed a way to convince him that I had to leave Hengsha immediately.
So you orchestrated the kidnapping. You're playing with fire, kid. By pitting the triads against Bell Tower, you've put the entire population of Lower Hengsha at risk.
That may be true. But you are here to rescue me, aren't you? So my plan seems to be working this far.
Right. And sometimes the more power you think you have, the more quickly it slips from your grasp.
I will try to remember that, American. Are you ready to go now?
I'd feel a lot more confident about things if I knew what the device was and exactly what you intend to do with it.
You mean they didn't tell you? Not surprising, I suppose, given how much Father enjoys his little secrets. I assume you've noticed how his harvesters like to repurpose existing technology?
If you mean steal it from other people and sell it to new customers, then yeah, I noticed.
Not necessarily a practice I approve of, but not everything gets resold. Sometimes it is taken apart and reassembled into something more useful. A handheld version, for instance, that doesn't need to be implanted in the human body to work.
You're still not telling me what that thing is.
Easier if I just show you. So, shall we leave?
Yeah, but stick close. Your father and I have some unfinished business to take care of, and it all goes to shit if I don't get you back to him in one piece.
Don't worry about that. I'll make sure Father sticks to his promise. Maybe even get him to throw in a little extra. But as grateful as I am for your assistance, from here on in, it's every man for himself. See you later.
Oh, you can see the shock on Adam's face when that happened.
Oh my god, he's a ghost!
Tongs Son is an early adapter of nanomachines, which of course is involved in the other Deus Ex games, which Tong is in all of the Deus Ex games, of course.
You have talent, Jensen. You ever need a job, you tell me. I'll hook you up.
I take it the kid made it back in one piece?
He says I owe you a weapon. I always repay my debts. With interest.
Let's see. What weapon will we get? Grenade launcher!
Oh my god, I love it.
Yes, sadly it does not fire normal grenades, so you can't use it as a non-lethal weapon. I'd have loved that. But like I said, Tong's in the other games. Can we create a time paradox?
Oh, imagine if you could fire beanbags. It'd be like SWAT 4 all over again.
No, he's immortal. Oh well.
That's one debt paid. Now tell me what you know.
Bell Tower keeps 2 ships in port. They think nobody notices, but I keep an eye. Every couple of days, one of them loads up in the middle of the night and sails out.
Heading where?
A wise man doesn't ask. I just know the Hengsha pulls out tonight. And where she make port, I bet you find your scientists.
That's a whole lot of maybe, Tong.
True. But maybe you lucky more times than I can count.
Bell Tower runs tight security. How do you expect me to get on their ship?
One of my boys will leave a package inside a locker for you in an equipment shed. You find it, we talk, and I tell you what to do next.
I'll be waiting with bated breath, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's the end of the missions for...
Oh, bloody hell, not again.
Oh, yeah, we end up on the
Make it stop.
Oh. So last chance to get the chip upgrade, I guess, but no.
My mouth tastes like backwards.
Oh, the Harvesters didn't suffer. I guess it's because they stole the tech. Hey, I actually lost this entrance to the sewers. Because there is another entrance to the sewers at the back. But no, it's right here. But yeah, like I said, that's the end of the main missions for Hengsha. There's a little bit afterwards, and then we've got the second DLC. But hey, there's these bunch of merchants just here if you want to sell stuff to.
They're looking for some guy who looks a lot like you.
They're the only type of people that I'm okay wearing fedoras when they look like the 40s, 50s style gangsters, Chicago town gangsters.
They look anachronistic is the only problem.
Yeah. This is my favourite guy in the game, in Hengsha, for this part.
Same company. They don't all use the same chips.
Nice pencil moustache.
Is that the only reason?
No, because he says this.
The government? Fucking aliens? Shit. What are they planning?
It was aliens, Jensen.
All along it was aliens.
And then the world split in half.
The big reveal.
Yeah, you can sell a bunch of this stuff. Clear up inventory. Apply the ammo upgrades when you find them to the laser gun. Because we're going to want to hang on to that, and we're going to want it as strong as possible for a lot later in the game. But off we go, because we've got to go and ship ourselves abroad to finally find Megan.